Hello everybody, happy Monday. Mondays are my favorite day of the entire week, I swear. So Mondays are check-in days, so I have to take my measurements, my weight, get some posing and take progress photos to submit to the site for Adam. Yes, I still check in just like a normal person. So yeah, we'll see. I don't think I'm as tight this week as I was last week. It was not the best week for me, honestly. And yeah, I feel guilty a bit, but I had a trip to the East Coast last week. I went to Pittsburgh, had delayed flights. I had missed workouts, missed cardio, but the sleep thing, man, with these delayed flights, I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m. on Thursday, which that's usually sometimes when I wake up, honestly. So that really messed me up. That made the workouts after that kind of crappy. So I feel a little guilty, honestly, but I was a little ahead of schedule anyway. So, you know, it's nice to have that little cushion just in case you have a bad week like I did last week, but we'll see, you know. I did have a really good workout with Adam on Saturday, and in fact, I'm still sore. I'm very inflamed and sore in my legs, so that might throw off the scale as well. So, you know, this week, getting back on track. We're less than a month out from the Olympia. I am super excited, super nervous, but it's almost here, guys. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'll meet you guys inside. One thing I do want to mention as well, although I'm taking my measurements and my weight, they're not going to be extremely precise because I did eat and drink already. Since I wake up so early, it's really hard for me to fast that long. I never fast really, honestly, because I wake up hungry, and that's like the only time of day I'm actually truly hungry. And then the rest of the day I'm fine. But with that being said, you know, had a little meal, had a little drink. So when I go to weigh myself, it might be, you know, a little bit off, but you know, ideally I would just weigh myself at home, but my scale has been out of batteries for a year, and same thing with my food scale. That's been out of batteries since like 2018. So anyway, I weigh myself here at the Contest Prep Center, and I left my measurements, my measuring tape here too, so I guess I gotta just do it all today. So I will meet you guys inside. Okay, so it looks like I'm like exactly the same as last week. I'm 122. My measurements for my waist was 23.25, and then on my hips it was 34.25. So it's actually the same as last week, but I do feel softer. So let's see what the photos say, because yeah, I don't know, I kind of feel softer. Maybe it's my imagination. I'm getting those competitor glasses, is what I like to call it, when you don't see yourself as lean as you actually are. That might be happening, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see. And then, of course, we'll meet with Adam and see what he has to say. But yeah, I was actually surprised about the numbers, so we'll see. Okay, so I'm back here in Coach Adam's office, and I did my check-in this morning, took my measurements, and now I'm meeting with you to discuss what's going on and what we're gonna do moving forward.
Yes, so we are in a really good spot. We've been in a really good spot for a few weeks, so luckily that's been the case. But last week we did run into some problems.
Wasn't the best week for me.
Yeah.
It was not.
So part of being a bikini pro is you're always going to want to take advantage of your opportunities. Pretty much everyone that does the Olympia goes to Pittsburgh and does like an interview and a workout and all that, which is awesome, and it's really fun. It's like an honor to do that. But from Vegas, it's a hard day of travel, and it's kind of difficult.
So many delayed flights too.
Yeah, so she got some delayed flights. So
messed up my sleep, which was already not good.
yeah. So it ended up impacting like 3 days, 4 days worth of workouts with sleep and all that, and the day of, and the travel and the delay. So it wasn't the best workout week. And you know, but the good thing is your week, it's basically exactly a maintenance week. So luckily, this is what I would tell everyone, like, hey, be ahead, like in your prep. Try to be ahead, do good in the off season. That way you can afford a week like this, because even if it wasn't something like external like this, like Pittsburgh for you, sometimes you just don't make progress for a week.
Yeah.
You know, it just
maybe
happens.
you're sick, maybe something else, yeah.
So awesome, you know, that you're ahead, because now we have 3.5 weeks where you're here, no travels, and we can, you know, pick things up a little bit. Not that you really need to this week, because you're in a good spot, but for our own peace of mind, getting you completely stage lean, like we should start turning on the burners now and like going for it, and getting you, if we have to, get you a little too lean. That way we can fill you out 100%, and you can be round and bubbly. So this week, no matter what, is going to be better than last week.
Right.
But either way, we still got to speed things up a little bit. Worst case scenario, we get too far ahead and we can turn them down a little bit if we need to. But yeah, we're going to go pretty much all out this week, and just started going. If you know, I think you're ready for it.
Yeah,
mentally.
totally.
You're rested.
And yeah, I'm running a 10K race this Thursday, so for Thanksgiving. So that should help. They've been keeping me pretty lean. I didn't get a chance to run one last week, obviously, due to travel and everything, but this week should be much better for cardio and diet and workouts altogether. So as far as cardio, what kind of cardio you want me doing now?
So here's our stats from last week to this week. If you look, her weight was 122.5, and now it's 122. Her hip measurements were 34.25, now they're 34.25, so no progress there, it's the same. Waist measurement, 23.5, 23.5, progress is the same. So this
and
week
I just want to say, because I'm going to get asked this in the comment section, I'm 5 foot 5 inches.
Yeah, it is a common thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny whenever you, like, someone will lose weight too, like, how tall or high?
Yeah, because
how long?
I understand, because like competitors want to like compare like themselves,
Yeah.
right? Like, what weight should I be at? You know, obviously there's no true answer because everyone's different, but you know, you get somewhat of a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and another good rule of thumb that we try to hit for a bikini competitor, we're trying to hit usually around that like 10 to 12 inches waist to hip ratio, and Ashley's right at 11, so that's a great spot to be.
Shoot.
Yeah, waist to hip
So
ratios.
I've overachieved in that.
You've done good.
Okay.
Yeah, you've done good. It starts getting, like some people, it depends on the girl, of course, but some people start looking a little too crazy
too freaky,
at like 14.
too drastic.
Yeah, like 14.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on how they're built.
Right.
But, you
and
know,
the shoulder clavicle too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a pretty normal thing for a high level pro. So yeah, so if we look at that, this is the cool thing about when you're a coach, you can see this data and it's really easy to see. Well, her progress was basically the same, but her cardio was only 1 last week. So the easy thing to do this week to create a stimulus is going to be to just do more cardio, right? Because we've only have 1 session in. So if she does, let's say 5 sessions this week of cardio, we're talking 4 times as many, right? 5 times as many sessions. So what we're going to do is look at how we're going to create a stimulus here. So right now, the stimulus is going to be 5 sessions versus 1. Obviously, 1 session wasn't ideal, but this week, her getting a little bit tighter is not going to be that hard at all. She's probably going to make a lot of progress this week. So let's look at the areas where we really want to improve. And honestly, she's not far away right now. You're really close, Ash. This could be, for the Olympic, honestly, like at a smaller show or a not an Arnold level or big level show, I'd be like, we're like a week out,
Right.
But for the Olympia, we're gonna be tighter than this, and so, and you can see here her tie-in is like it's there, but it could be a little bit more there, and there's just a little bit of body fat around this area and a tiny bit right here. That can come down, but the hamstrings are there. They're not separating yet. They're still looking round and full. The adductors aren't creating a deep V yet, so she's not crazy lean yet. She's lean, but not crazy lean. There's like really, it's like a hard week of dieting away, maybe a hard 10 days away from being there. But for the Olympia, we're gonna overshoot, most likely, get a little harder than she needs to be, and that way we have more room to fill out and give her more carbs and go in there with being as round and full as possible. That's the plan. It worked the last time, and I think you're on pace. I think you're right there. So front pose, what do you think? How you feel about your waist and all that?
I feel good. I think we just need to go over calorie and cardio changes.
Yeah.
So I think, I think I can definitely look better, but I feel like I'm in a good spot for being 3.5 weeks out.
So here is the current calories, the current diet. So we are going to be, dieting harder than this, but look at how it is. She's with maintaining in the off season, 1,775 calories, 3.5 weeks out from the Olympia, doing one session of cardio last week, which of course wasn't ideal, but you can get away with it. But imagine being on the other side of things, like it being the Olympia, and you're in Pittsburgh, your flights are delayed, and you're like, I just need to find a treadmill because I need every single day of cardio. You give yourself that freedom, and it lowers the stress of things, and then you're stressing, and then you're not losing as much weight because you're too stressed, and it's like a whole thing, So it's great, obviously not ideal, but great. And so what we're we're gonna lower calories a little bit this week. I don't think it's super realistic to keep at 1,775 calories for her, at least, as 120
It's plenty
pounds.
of food. It's plenty of food.
Going into the Olympia. So I'm probably going to get in trouble for this one. We're probably going to get rid of the protein bar this week.
No, Adam, I'm leaving. Cut out the oats.
You knew it was coming.
Cut out the oats. I'm serious. Where's the oatmeal? I don't care about oatmeal. Give me
The oatmeal in the morning.
Get rid of it.
27.
I
quit. We can actually exchange that right now.
I quit.
She actually loves that protein bar so much. So what we did is we moved some things around so you guys can see exactly what it is. It actually does make sense to still have that, the protein bar. To be honest, the protein bar is a little bit, she's so happy about the protein bar.
It's my favorite thing of the day.
I'm sorry.
I'm
just trying to be, I don't usually even bring it up if it wasn't the Olympia, but I'm like, yeah, it is a little much. But to be honest, this is actually lower net carbs than the oatmeal, so it actually is a positive. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But we do have to move things around to do that. Yes. So I want her to have some energy, or the best energy she can for her workouts. So we're gonna have the Quest bar, as that's gonna be like our pre-workout food in place of the oatmeal with protein, and then her meal 2, which she will eat sometimes before the workout, will have 20 carbs now instead of 30. And then that last meal is gonna be the egg whites, which she could substitute for lean meat and then add veggies to that if she wants to as well. So still not a crazy diet, 1,450 calories.
I'll take it.
That's pretty good, 3.5 weeks out from the Olympia. We got that, and we got 5 sessions of cardio this week.
5 sessions, oh my goodness gracious.
You're gonna get a little.
But what does a 10K equal? Like that is not a typical cardio session.
Yeah, it's
does that
6
equal like
miles.
2?
I feel like it would equal 2.
2, okay. I'm rationalizing.
So with Ashley, we do different cardio because you gotta understand, guys, too. It's different. Like you're gonna be like, I don't have that in my plan. Ashley competes all year, every year, so it's a different scenario than the typical scenario. Because if I told Ashley do an hour of cardio on the stairs and then 30 minutes at night, so 1.5 hours a day on the stairs, right? Probably can endure that for a couple preps a year. But when we're talking this next year, we're gonna try to do a lot of shows again.
Oh yeah, let's compete like as much as possible and piss everyone off.
So
let's do it. I can't wait.
So we have to take the fun factor and the longevity factor into it. And if that's something like, let's say you're struggling with too, maybe it's a conversation you have. I have other athletes because of you, which is cool, doing that. They're like, I joined Orange Theory because I hated cardio.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been able to work it in their plans and change things around and move things like a protein bar in instead of oatmeal, like things like that. It's longevity is important, So that's one thing I think that you've really mastered too.
So to clarify, I do Orange Theory classes as my cardio a lot of times. So it'll be either Orange Theory class, step mill, occasionally if I miss the class time or whatever. Or lately, loving running these 10K races.
Yeah.
So fun. So fun. I'm running one on Thanksgiving while everyone else is eating turkey and potatoes and sweet potato casserole. I'll be running a 10K.
I will say when she runs the, even, because you did the 5K that first time, right? Was it 5 or was it?
Because they only had the 5K
Yeah, she did
available.
a 5K and then it was like 2 days later, she looked a lot sharper. So it does something to your tie-ins or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because you came in and I was like, whoa. That was the same day we were both like, dang, I wish the Olympia was like next weekend or this weekend. It was crazy.
So 5Ks and 10Ks. I've been doing 10Ks because it's like, well, if I have to drive out there and, you know, make the effort, I might as well make it worth my time. So I do 10Ks.
But that is that is not going to be your normal cardio session. So on that scenario, it's like you said 6 miles?
6.2 miles.
That's a lot.
But I never train for them. That's the thing. That's important to note. I'm not training to be an endurance runner.
Yeah.
I just do them on the weekends.
So going from 1 session of cardio to 5, I do think if we could go 4 sessions this week, one of them being that, and then the other ones being like an Orange Theory, I think we're gonna have more than enough cardio for this week, and it should be, if anything, we might be. That actually it's aggressive. It's actually pushing it considering last week. So we'll see.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Don't want to overshoot
as long
and
as
like
I get
wear
my
you out.
protein bar.
Yeah, but we'll see what your workouts look like as you're progressing through the week too. And if it's getting to be where you're getting beat up, which I don't think you will with that, you'll be fine. If anything, it's going to be the run that beats you up. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
So anyway, with that, that is going to be the weekly adjustment for this week, and I'm expecting a 1/4 of an inch and a 1/4 of an inch on the waist and on the hips, and I'm hoping no more than 1.5
Well,
pounds.
we don't want a 1/4 inch on the hips necessarily.
Yeah, ideally just
we don't
on the
want
waist.
smaller glutes, but maybe leaner.
Yeah,
leaner.
Ideally, it would be just, we wouldn't lose any, we'd grow on the glutes ideally.
Well, yeah, or just get crispier tie-ins. Keep
Crispier
the
tie-ins.
size, keep the crispies.
But
get the crispies.
what we want to look for is no more than that, though. If she loses a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch on the glutes, it's like a problem. Like, we don't want to do that. So those are kind of our acceptability margins and our goal margins. So 1/4 of an inch is like the max we want to lose on the glutes. The waistline, we will take as much as we can get on the waistline. Yeah,
it can't get too small, really.
Yeah, we'll take an inch if we can get it. And then the weight, the marker is like, I never want to shoot for more than like 1.5% is pushing it. So ideally 1%. She's basically at her stage weight. This is like her typical stage weight. We're like in the range of 120, 123, like it's always in there somewhere, right? So her being 122 right now, that's pretty much there. So we need to lean out a little bit. It's unlikely we're going to do that with maintaining this weight right now. So probably 1% would be like the most we really want to shoot for. 1.5 is like, okay, we're pushing it way too hard. She's definitely going to be a little flat at that point. But we have 3 weeks to work with to fill her out to hit that stage weight again. So she might lose weight this week. Ideally, it'd be great if she just got crispier. But realistically, we're probably going to lose like 1%, so 1.2 pounds. Hopefully not. As much as we can get on the waist, keep the hips as close as possible as the same. But we're basically squeezing the sponge right now and getting all the carbs out of her. So she's going to get lighter, and then we'll fill them back up. And then hopefully at the end of this, we net 1/4 of an inch bigger on the glutes, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch smaller on the waist, with you being this weight at the end of all of it, right? So a lot of maneuvering there, right?
Yes. We can do it though.
I think so. I think it's realistic.
Cool.
So
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again for your cameo here in my video, Adam. I cannot wait to see what we bring to Olympia stage this year. So I appreciate your time and everything you do. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode of the Road to Olympia mini-series here on my channel.
bye, guys.
Bye.